of running away from home to join the travelling circus, you've got to learn the tricks of the trade then. For instance, you've got to know how to get one of these big top steaks out. The secret is you give it 2 bangs that away, 2 bangs that away, and it should just come out. And who's more surprised than me?
10 years ago, many people thought the travelling show was dying, but today there are more than a dozen tenting circuses in Britain, and some, like the one I joined, toured just about all the year round. It's owned by 3 brothers. Brian Austen is the eldest. 10 years ago, he did run away to a circus, and he's worked for many different outfits since then. First as a horse groom, then as a performer. Now he's managing director of his own circus.
If you get one end, Miguel.
Michael didn't get the circus bug straight away. On leaving school, he started work as a typesetter. And Patrick, the youngest of the 3, started as an apprentice shoemaker. Today they both share the bill and the work with their elder brother. It's a full-time job. On top of all the performances, the circus has to move from place to place at least once a week. And it's that side of the job that's the most exhausting. As far as the Austen brothers are concerned, doing the show's the easy bit. I joined the Austens just a week earlier. They were getting ready to move on after a week at Oxford, and Brian was working on one of his Scammell tractors. I took the chance to ask him how he'd got into circus life.
Oh, I just happened to go to see a circus one weekend down on the south coast with a friend of mine.
Yeah.
And I was working as a panel beater in a factory. And they said, "Oh, do you want a job?" I said, "Yeah, I wouldn't mind that," because I was pretty athletic at school.
Yeah.
And this old character, he says, "Well, you can have 7 and 6 a week and all you can eat as a groom." And I gave my notice in and told my parents, and they wasn't too pleased about that.
Yeah.
And Dad says, "I'll let him go, he'll be back in a week." And it was 3 years before I went home again.
What did your dad say?
I think he was pleased.
The mechanical side of the circus is Brian's first love, but he also decides what goes into the show each week.
Wow. Because with us, the family do the basic, and every year we change our own acts anyway.
Yeah.
Which we're able to do, and then we keep 1 or 2 stock acts, and they change as well.
Yeah.
And then we just fill in with trapeze and whatever we haven't got, you know.
How did you learn all your animal training, though? If you were a panel basher to start with and then just worked in the circus for 3 years, was it the 3 years in the first circus that taught it to you?
Well, no, I was always a lover of horses at school. And then as I say, I went with this circus for 3 years and I watched them train, but I learned to train basically out of a book.
Out of a book?
Yeah, I read this book on how to train circus horses and learnt from there. And then I moved on to bears and monkeys and lions and all that sort of thing later. But it's
You didn't get those out of the book, though?
No, I don't think they've done a book on lion training.
The other 2 brothers both have a special responsibility too. Patrick looks after the mobile generators.
How much does this take, this tank?
It takes about 15 to 20 gallons.
Is that a dipstick?
Yeah, you just lift it out.
What voltage does this show?
That's 230, that is. That one's for running the organ and a few odd lights in the show and a candy floss machine.
Michael is the artistic one, and he sees that all the vehicles look smart and colourful.
And you did all the sign writing on all the vans?
Yeah.
That must have taken a time.
Well, I do it in my spare time.
Do you get much spare time?
No, I look upon this as a kind of hobby, really.
Yeah.
The sign writing. I enjoy doing it.
But like Brian, they're performers too, and they wanted to involve me in their trampoline act.
But that's not as easy, really, as it looks, is it? You've got to be quite competent on the trampoline to do this without hurting yourself.
Yeah, it takes a lot of practice. So you know, to outside people it looks easy, but to actually put it into a sequence to make it look funny is quite a different thing.
The trampoline was quite a bit smaller than normal. It was specially built so it can be moved in and out of the ring quickly. I was a bit anxious that I might bounce off the end.
Stand on there. Stand up. 1 foot through and just fall forward.
I can't get in balance. All right.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's right. Now up and down in the ordinary sit down, straight sit down, and then as you do that, you go forward, and then come back. Yeah. Then come backwards.
Backwards?
Yeah. You know, just bring yourself backwards.
Oh yeah.
That's it, and then you do the
It's a gallop then.
the ride in the gallop. That's it. And then back onto your the sort of bottom of your spine to do the backward roll. You're going too far backwards now. You're going more onto your neck than onto your bottom of your spine.
My neck fell there. There's onto the spine.
Yeah, more or less onto the bottom of the spine. That's it. Yes, very well.
When I come in, how many times round before I let the streamer go?
Just twice. You're ready to let that go now, I should think.
Right.
It'll be fine. That's lovely. Allez!
At the end of the show, the whole company presents a Red Indian act, and Brian insisted that I should have a part in that too.
Have you finished?
Yeah.
Oh my God. That was a bit close. What else will I be doing, Brian?
Well, after we've done the riding and the paper cutting, then we have the fire eating. And while the fire eater's on, I think it'd be a good idea if you went and played the tom-toms.
Yeah.
And then I think just to finish off with, I think we'll have you as a target at the knife board. How does that suit?
I think I'll stay on the horse.
The circus left Oxford for Coventry early the next day. With 50 vehicles in the convoy and an average speed of 20 miles an hour, the journey would take anything up to 4 hours. I'd gone ahead with the advanced team. Their job is to get the maximum impact in the shortest possible time. Between us, we went to every shop in town. Most shopkeepers are willing to display a poster in return for some free tickets. This isn't just advertising. It also makes sure there's a good-sized audience on the first night. By the end of the day, we hoped that just about everyone in Coventry would know the circus had come to town. Putting the big top back up next morning involved everyone, but it was Michael as tent master who was up first.
Morning, Ricky. Morning, Ivor.
Before the 4 king poles can be hauled up, the trapeze artist Inga Lisa has to bolt her gear onto the top ridge pole.
Ingo.
Yes.
Why do you want
Oh,
this?
will you put it down there? Thank you very much. Thanks.
What
It's
is
a bit
this?
heavy,
A
isn't it?
washing line?
Oh, come on.
Who does your splicing though?
Well, my father does.
Does he?
Yes. You know, I was brought up on a sailing schooner, so he's very good, very experienced, that kind of thing.
How did you get to come into a circus then?
Well, I came in with the horses, really. I was riding first of all.
Yeah.
And then I married a sea lion trainer, and then I decided I'd do trapeze, you know, and I practiced very hard, so. But the trapeze is, they have to be very well spliced, because you see there's splices each end, and it has to be exact.
Yeah.
Because otherwise I'm swinging all sideways, you know.
And your father does all
My
this,
father
does
does that, yes. It's white Italian hemp, and the rope, the climbing rope is cotton. And, well, it's getting extremely difficult to find the equipment that you want these days. You know, even the right kind of ropes these days. It's shackles, tested shackles and things like that.
Your daughter also is in the circus with you, isn't she?
Yes, my eldest daughter is in the circus. She's doing a wire act. She's not very keen on the heights.
Yeah.
And she thought she'd do something a little bit sort of easier. She saw my sore feet all the time, you see, and she said, oh no, I don't want that. So she's doing a wire act and got equally sore feet. So you can't really win.
With the trapeze safely in place, all was clear for the king poles to go up. And this was where the tractor came into its own. One of the most valuable items in any circus is its tent. And that's why it's always rolled out with great care. Later this year, the Austins will be investing in a new one, mainly because the elephants have grown too large for the present 30-foot ring, and it will cost over £20,000. Another expensive item is fodder. The animals are star attractions, but they're big eaters too, and they need constant grooming.
Yeah, so I'll do it first thing on the morning.
Yeah.
To get all the thick dust off and everything, and wash them if necessary. And then about 3:30 I come in and give them another good going over.
What about some of the muddy sites?
Oh, it's terrible, that is. It's nearly every day we have to wash them.
Yeah.
It was terrible when the water shortage was on, you know.
Yes,
Just
how
the
did you
same
go
there.
on? You
We
have to
just
find
had
the
to
stream.
hope for the best.
This one's made a mess of his fringe. By gummy, you're a dirty eater. Look at that. Look at it. You've got dirty ears too. Oh, a dirty boy.
By noon, the big top was beginning to take shape. The build-up from start to finish would be 4 hours. That left just a lunch break to get ready for the first show. Brian suggested I should start off just doing ring boy work. Then, after a couple of days when I'd seen how everything slotted together, he'd risk putting me into the show.
Don't you find this hard work? I mean, what do? You do the horses and you're doing the Indians.
Well,
It's 40 weeks of the year. Twice a day sometimes.
yeah, but the ring's the easiest part.
What's the hard bit then?
Well, the hard bit's putting this up and down, you know, twice a week and looking after the lorries and all that sort of thing. The only thing is, because this is the bit we get our enjoyment through, this is the bit that keeps us going.
You've got a bit more enjoyment today because your drummer's sick and you've got to play the drums.
Yeah, well, that's that makes it just a little bit different. It all helps, you know, to keep us going.
Do you ever do any clown work as well?
Not unless the clown breaks his leg or something.
Then you're in.
And one of the family has to go in and do something else.
So
Yeah.
in fact, you can do everybody's job.
Yeah, there's only one thing out of the family we can't do, and that's just trees. the right. How's this go? Yeah.
For 2 hours each afternoon and evening, everyone becomes an entertainer. This is the magic that makes all the heavy work worthwhile. But the success of a travelling circus depends a lot on good publicity. In the old days, there would be a parade from the railway station to the circus field. Nowadays, that would cause an awful traffic jam.
Can somebody give me a hand? No thank gawping. Have you ever had one of those days? Oh, lovely.
So I was sent into Coventry each morning with just a pair of stilts to pull in the crowds.
Tickets for the circus! Who wants tickets for the circus? Here you are, tickets for the circus. Be given away. Little girl, would you like to go to the circus? Yeah, they have a lovely time.
Our third and last night in Coventry. This was the performance in which I was going to show my form and hopefully do better than on the stilts. It was also time to start the pull-down. We were moving on that night. So whilst Brian opened with the horses, outside we started work on their stables in costume.
Oh, hey, oh, ah. Hey.
Then came my first effort. Brian watched critically as I joined Patrick and Michael to become the Three Leicesters. I comforted myself with the thought that if anything did go wrong, we could probably clown our way out of it. But then the point of an act like this is doing things wrong on purpose. I remembered everything Patrick and Michael had taught me, and I wouldn't put my performance down as a landmark in circus history. But the audience seemed to like it, and for a novice the brothers reckoned I did quite well.
There's just more to it than going in the ring.
How do you think it went?
Oh, I think it went very well.
All right.
Yep, I think you was, you look worn out.
It was all go, wasn't it?
And there was no let-up. For the next hour we were packing things into the wagon as they came out of the ring. It was only when Inga-Lisa began her trapeze act that I dashed off to get changed for the Red Indian finale.
Whoa. Never mind that, stick
By now, like all the others, I was able to tell how far each act had progressed just by listening to the accompanying music.
Vicious. Would have frightened the cowboys.
Jean gave a last brush to the horse as Inga went into a final spin.
I go in.
Do once, twice.
Yeah, because I'll be cracking that time. As soon as I stop, I'll sit on person.
During the fire-eating section of the act, Brian and I took over on the tom-toms. About now, I began to wonder just how good Brian's aim was in the knife throwing, but it was a bit too late to have second thoughts. Before all the audience had left the field, Brian and Patrick were marshalling the trailers into position, and Michael and I were packing up the ring surround and seating. The performers are responsible for their own gear first, but then they all join in to get the pull-down completed. On average, it takes 75 minutes from the end of the last performance to the departure of the last lorry from the empty site. I doubt if the audience would recognise the colourful performers they'd just seen, now in sweaters, donkey jackets and Wellington boots. But it's this willingness to muck in that's the key to the success of a travelling show. The Austen Brothers know this as well as anyone. On every pull down, they're out there setting the pace. In 40 weeks tenting each year, the circus will visit over 50 towns and perform to 500,000 people. And yet, tomorrow, there'll be nothing but a circle of sawdust on an empty field to show that they were ever there.